folks insist. I really don't know why they insist, and quite frankly, I don't care. Folks can do whatever they like, and they're going to do what they like. As long as they leave us out of it, I can care less. Parties insist on doing that which is encumbered. I don't care. Parties insist on doing the things that's not practical and sensible. I don't care about that either. What I really want to know is how are we going to continue to avoid their crazy? And parties constantly approaching some of our officials and they're saying, we would like to do so and so with the Amexem-Moor-Empire. It's like, no, we're good. Y'all do what you do over there. Nothing personal against you, per se. Generally speaking, we love all of our kith and kindred, just that we don't engage in the stupid. Now, folks definitely approach the ambassadors, but they know better than to approach me with that crazy. Just don't. They already know how that's going to end, and not well for them. It's like, I'm polite to a point, everyone knows that, but only to a point. Do not approach us to engage in things when you're encumbered. We're not doing the encumbered thing. You insist on being entangled to the colonizing hostiles, that's your business, but leave us out of it. Folks know that's going to be what I'm going to say to them in one form or another. So they know better to even waste their time. They'll talk to the ambassadors, but they know better than to try to bring that to me. And yet our kith and kindred insist on doing some of the most idiotic things to this day. I'm like, for the last 20, 30 Earth years, you have not changed at all. You've evolved nowhere in your thinking. You've learned nothing. This is what I'm thinking when I'm looking at them. And I'm like, I love you dearly, but out my face with your nonsense. I don't get our folks. You know, on both sides of the ocean, we're finding out very quickly how folks have serious head problems on both sides of the ocean, but for different reasons. But however, I have to give our kith and kindred, our family on the other side, credit though. They still move as a unit across the mother continent. Our folks in North-Amexem, on the other hand, move as individuals. They wonder why they get anywhere. They get nowhere. Nowhere, nowhere, nowhere. They know they're hefting their elbow to be polite, but also they move as individuals. And you get nowhere. But you cannot approach us and you're not ready. And 99.99999% of our kith and kindred in North-Amexem, they're not ready. And they refuse to get ready. And we cannot make them. So we're getting more done empire-wide, largely because of what we're doing in Sector 4, to be honest about it. The difference is, as I explained to Mr. for Joint Travel and Transport, or I shouldn't use the word explain, he knows. Yes, we have amalgamated more folks into our jurisdiction and venue on this side of the ocean as of late. Our numbers are still down from what we used to be here, but we are gaining back. The difference, though, is the nationals that we do have in the North-Amexem are much further along in their training now. So our abilities are broader. Our operations collectively are more, not just more expansive, we're more effective now. We're able to delegate more because we have more nationals that's further in their training, which takes a lot of the burden off of us, especially off of me. However, we just don't have enough hands, and we have a lot of oversight that we have to do now that we didn't have to do before, but we're larger in scope now, which does require more oversight operations. Just that there's not enough of us to do all the oversight that we really need to be doing. I mean, we're covering ground. Reality is we're behind, and we're surviving for now, but we know we're on borrowed time. We're going to have more of our nationals on both sides of the ocean much further along in their training. And as I've said repeatedly, getting the regional ambassador on the plane on an annual basis and having him take the exams and his trainings and things of that nature while he's here so he can advance our training on the other side. It is helpful, just not fast enough for our purposes. And our growth in Sector 4 is outstripping our ability to do the appropriate oversight to my preference levels. So I talked with the Minister for the Treasury and Budget on particular things. Grand Ambassador and I have already settled on particular things. So we're going to have our first away team going over to Sector 4 to do some of the oversight. So now that we funded the away team coming from Sector 4, and we have some things we got to fund over the next few Earth months. After that, we're going to focus on putting the away team from here into Sector 4 for oversight operations. And it took us a long time to get to this point. However, that's where we are now. We're going to start getting operational in terms of sending away teams from Sector 1 to Sector 4 to start doing the oversight training as we have to. We'll deal with Sector 5 in due course, and we'll deal with Sector 3 in due course. However, the primary, as everyone knows, is Sector 4. So getting the Imperial Command Authority and other staff over to Sector 4 to commence oversight operations inspections is necessary. And sooner rather than later, we will start to do the fundraising to make that a reality. And the way I figure it, the away teams come out of Sector 4 for Moore's Emergence Day, and away teams go over to Sector 4 for the spring equinox event, basically for the new year. And we should start working on making that a regular thing. Getting our business tax collection up sufficient to fund it, getting the monthly contributions from all of us up also, in addition to the business taxes, to fund all this is essential that we make that happen. Because the quality assurance of our duty, obligation, and responsibility, we have to get it there to my preferences. Getting the duties, obligations, and responsibilities up to my standards, particularly for business operation. That's the Minister for the Interior's jurisdiction, the commerce of those businesses. That's the Minister for the Customs jurisdiction. Different vantage points, but they're essential, and we have to get this stuff down because the national on the other side, they're learning, they're getting there, and eventually we're going to have more business operational within the Amexem-Moor-Empire on the other side of the ocean than over here. So again, the oversight is essential.